What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with TechDaily. So these are the new redesigned third generation Apple AirPods. And if you're familiar with the AirPods product line, you can probably tell that these new regular AirPods now look a lot like the AirPods Pro. But confusingly similar design aside, there's still a lot that sets the regular AirPods apart from the Pros. And in this video, I'm going to try to break down exactly what those differences are now so that you can decide which ones might be best for you. And I'm also going to outline what else is new and what's changed with these third generation AirPods specifically, since you might also be considering just upgrading from an OG pair of AirPods as well. First things first though, let me just quickly show you what comes inside the box with these new AirPods 3. The packaging is mostly the same from other pairs of AirPods. You get a whole stack of paperwork and instructions inside, no Apple stickers though. Then of course, the AirPods themselves tucked away in their charging case, which you can see already has been oriented differently and redesigned. It too mimics the Pro's charging case now, and I'll get into all that in just a second. One last thing though, at the very bottom of the box, underneath everything, there is an included USB-C to Lightning cable if you need it. So just make sure you grab that before tossing the box away. So here are the new third generation Apple AirPods once again, and let's begin with the basics here. Price-wise, these new AirPods 3 now sell for $179, which is actually cheaper than the AirPods 2. And you get the wireless charging case included now for no extra cost as well. And it's also just nice to see a price decline for once. The AirPods Pro, of course, are quite a bit more expensive, $249, but those are Apple's full retail prices. AirPods are often on sale, or at least slightly discounted on places like Amazon, for example. So while the Pros will always be pricier, you might be able to save some money on both. And I'll leave the best deals and discounts for AirPods linked down below in the video description for you to grab. Now, like I mentioned, the first thing that's different is the actual charging case. It's sort of flipped now, landscape oriented, you could say, just like the AirPods Pro, but all the other sort of physical aspects are familiar. We get an LED indicator light up front, a metal hinge for the lid above the pairing button on the back, and the same lightning port for charging everything underneath. Also, there's the same magnetic charging connection when you drop the AirPods into the case. At a glance, this looks exactly like the AirPods Pro setup, but side by side you can see that they are in fact a little different. The size of the regular AirPods is a tad smaller. That's the main giveaway. Most everything else though is identical, at least until you pop open the lid. Inside, the newly redesigned AirPods 3 sort of mimic the AirPods Pro design, but obviously there are a few things that set them apart here. Now, the basic form factor is the same. The AirPods 3 now have a shorter stem, more ergonomic earpiece, and a couple more vents and sensors that offer improved sound and additional features versus the original Apple AirPods. And compared to the Pros, it's really tough to tell them apart, aside from a couple of the sensors and vents differing very slightly there too. The redesign, I think, is more just subjective than anything else. I'll get more into the fit and feel in just a second, but for all intents and purposes, these new AirPods 3 are essentially the AirPods Pro, just without the rubber ear tip. And I think this is the first major consideration you need to make in choosing between the two. The new AirPods 3 are still very much a one-size-fits-all product. What you see is what you get, just like with Apple's original AirPods. The AirPods Pro, of course, have removable and interchangeable rubber ear tips that come in a few different sizes. And they not only allow for a more snug, more custom fit, but the ear tips also contribute to a couple of other additional features on the Pros that the regular AirPod 3s do not offer, like noise cancellation. And if you're curious, no, you can't just stick the AirPod Pro tip onto the AirPod 3. The actual earpiece grill has a different shape entirely, with nothing to attach the rubber tip to. In the ear, the new AirPods 3, I'd say, are now more comfortable than Apple's original AirPods, mainly because of the slightly smaller, more rounded, more ergonomic earpiece design, but also because of the shorter, smaller stem as well. They don't feel like they're dangling so much as just resting inside your ear. However, the fact that they are still all plastic means you do lose that comfort element. And while I personally do feel like all of Apple's AirPods AirPods have fit me well and stayed in my ears during most activities, these new AirPods 3 are still just a little looser than I would have liked. Again, the most important thing to consider here is with the AirPod 3s, just like the original AirPods, this is a one size, one fit, one design sort of deal. So if they don't really work for you, there's not much you can do. And I do think there's enough of a difference here with these new AirPod 3s versus the original AirPods to maybe make a noticeable difference in the fit and feel. With the AirPod Pros, obviously the rubber tip is just going to offer a completely different fit. These go deeper into your ear, they fill the whole space, they're more snug and secure. This is what I prefer, but I do realize not everyone finds this sort of setup comfortable. Swapping between the two, the difference in the fit and the feel is very noticeable. In general, I think the new AirPods 3 do offer a better design now versus previous regular AirPods, but the ear tip design and super snug fit of the Pros is just going to be the superior setup. By the way, for your controls, the AirPods 3 now also have the squeezable stem, just like the Pros, so no more tapping or touching. And this is something I've always preferred. It's identical in the feel, identical in the force that's required. The stems are the exact same setup. Let's now dive into the features and the sound quality, because again, there are a lot of other differences here that absolutely will impact your decision. So to start off, just the initial setup with the AirPods 3 and AirPods Pro, that's basically all the same. They both have Apple's proprietary M1 Bluetooth chip, so popping open the case will prompt your phone to connect them. And you get a demo of the squeeze controls, you can set up Siri and message announcements, and obviously see the battery of the AirPods in the case. Those basics are all the same as expected. The AirPods 3 also have Apple's Spatial audio feature, and the couple adjustments you can make on your phone to go along with that. Long pressing on the volume controls will bring up those options, and you can turn spatial audio on and off, set up a fixed spatial audio experience, or enable head tracking. And this whole thing is Apple's theater-like surround sound enhancements, where the audio from your music or a phone call or a video you're watching will sort of sound like it's coming from all different directions. The AirPods Pro have this feature too, along with two other features not offered on AirPods 3, active noise cancellation and transparency mode. And these are the two standout features that absolutely still set the AirPods Pro apart. The active noise cancellation, of course, combines the snug rubber ear tip and actual audio adjustments to not just block out the outside world, but actively cancel out constant hums or drones or other noises. And this is a feature I just can't live without now. With transparency mode, you get almost the exact opposite. A sort of boost of the outside audio to help you hear important announcements or other things going on around you, while still keeping your AirPods Pro in your ear. These two features are basically what gives the AirPods Pro their Pro distinction, and in my opinion, the active noise cancellation alone is still reason enough to consider them over the AirPods 3. In comparison, the AirPods 3 do an okay job with sound isolation, but they don't have a particularly snug fit for passive noise isolation, and they don't do any active noise cancellation at all. So in the end, they're really no different than any random pair of budget earbuds you can think of, and you'll most likely be able to hear just about everything that's happening around you. In regards to the sound quality, this is another thing I think that's really just a matter of opinion, but to me, the AirPods Pro don't sound significantly better than the AirPods 3. Which is a good thing, really, but there's still a couple of other things worth mentioning. Now, compared to original AirPods, the AirPods 3 are absolutely an improvement. They offer a fuller sound, less distortion, they're clear and crisp, and I think they offer a bit more bass. They seem louder, too. AirPods 3 get all the right sound improvements over previous OG AirPods, but those improvements essentially bring the AirPods 3 up to the same level now as AirPods Pro. The difference in my experience has just been with the bass. The Pros feel more bass heavy and thumpy for whatever reason, but that might also have to do with a deeper, tighter fit, and of course AirPods Pro blocking out all of that outside noise. So that I think does contribute to maybe a better listening experience. They just offer a lot in the way of noise cancellation, which really enhances your audio experience. AirPods Pro might have a slight edge in sound quality over AirPods 3. It's more so just a better listening experience, like I said, said, combined with the noise cancellation, but I think if you're looking for audio quality to be a factor, I just don't really see that being the case. So a few more tidbits just to finish off here. Both the new AirPods 3 and AirPods Pro offer the same level of water resistance. So sweat, rain, or a splash of water shouldn't really be an issue. With the battery life, this is pretty interesting actually. Technically, the AirPods 3 are rated for longer listening time, 6 hours with the buds and 30 hours with the case, versus just 4.5 hours on the Pros and 24 hours with the case. But that's with active noise cancellation turned on the Pros, which does diminish battery life more. Even still, disabling ANC on the Pros only gets you about another 30 more minutes of listening time. So seemingly, the AirPods 3, for whatever reason, do have a bit better battery life over the AirPods Pro. For charging, 5 minutes in the case gets you about an hour of listening time on both. And both AirPods 3 and AirPods Pro can be charged wirelessly inside the charging case via a Qi charger. What's kind of cool though is that the new AirPods 3 actually now ships with a MagSafe enabled charging case. So if you have a MagSafe wireless charger or any other MagSafe accessory, it'll magnetically attach. The AirPods Pro didn't ship with a MagSafe case originally, but now they do. So if you buy a new pair of AirPods Pro right now, at least directly from Apple, you should see it come with the MagSafe enabled case as well. And I just had to try this. So yes, the AirPods 3 fit inside the AirPods Pro charging case, since the stem and design is basically the same, and vice versa, though the lids have trouble closing. This isn't particularly interesting on its own, but you can see that the buds will actually be recognized on the device and seemingly charge normally inside their incorrect opposite cases. So that's kind of cool, I guess. But the same buds have to be inside the same cases. If you put one AirPods 3 and one AirPods Pro into one case, the phone won't recognize anything at all. You can't even set up that combination. None of this obviously is relevant or valuable information, but I just had to sort of play around with it and see what happens. So overall, the AirPods 3 are no doubt an improvement over Apple's original AirPods and AirPods 2. The fresh new design is interesting. They certainly sound better as well, but for as close as they look now to the AirPods Pro, that's sort of where it ends, and they still fall short in more ways than one with a lot of the features. The Pros give you active noise cancellation and transparency mode, as well as a snug custom fit, and those three things in particular I think are still just reason enough to jump to the Pros, even at their higher price. But what do you guys think? Are the AirPods 3 good enough for you? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, of course. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video though. Be sure to follow TechDaily on Twitter and subscribe to the TechDaily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.